Hi, good morning, everybody. This is lecture for week 10. And then this is the first lecture for this week. In this lecture, you will see a new topic or a new chapter, topic 9. This topic is about segment reporting and decentralization. Okay, the decentralization means the business has several segments. Maybe let's say the business is a factory. Then the factory has several departments that produces different products, for example. Or if the business is like a supermarket, let's say Parkson. So Parkson is a big company and it has many segments according to the location of the supermarket. Parkson in Putrajaya, Parkson in Bangi, and many places. So that one company has many segments. When a business has many segments or departments, the business can practice decentralization. Decentralization means the business can give authority to managers in the different segments to have some to have authority and also to have some power to make decision. Okay, that decentralization means the business give power to managers in different segments, power to make some decision. So let's say you have a business in the future, you can practice decentralization or centralization. If you practice decentralization, it means that you give power to managers in different segments of your business to have some power or authority to make some decision. If you practice centralization business or centralization management, it means that every decision power is in the hand of managers in the head office of the department, head office of the business. So every decision has to be made by maybe the CEO of the business. Lower level manager does not have power to make decision. So that is the practice of centralization. So in general, it can be said that decentralization is better compared to centralization management practice. Because if you practice decentralization, you give some powers to managers in different segments to make some decisions. So the managers are happy because they have some power, and also the manager got experience in making business decision, and maybe the manager can use their idea to make the business or the company better. Okay, so let's see. These are several benefits of decentralization. Okay, so the first one that you can see in this slide is top management free to concentrate on strategy. So, like I said earlier, if you practice decentralization, in the headquarters, the top management, there are managers in the top in the headquarters, and also there are managers in the segments or branches of the business. So if the business practice decentralization, the lower level managers in the segments make some decision. So the managers in the headquarters have more time to concentrate on making strategy for the business. So if in the opposite, if a business practice centralization management, then the top managers at the headquarters are very busy because they have to make all the decisions for the all segments of the business. So when they practice decentralization, top managers in the headquarters have more free time and can think about the strategy to manage the business, to make sure the business is successful. So the second benefits of decentralization or advantage of decentralization is lower level managers gain experience in decision making, like I said earlier. So if you practice decentralization, you give some power to the lower level manager, so they have experience in making business decision. If you practice centralization, the lower level manager cannot make decision for the business, so they have no experience in making business decision. And then, okay, number 3, you see number 3, box 3 in this slide. Decision making authority leads to job satisfaction. This is also the thing that is good about decentralization. When you give some power to the lower level manager to make some decisions, so they are happy because they feel that they have some control in their department or in their segment. If the lower level manager has no power at all, so they are not happy. Let's say, for example, let's say in the future you are working as a manager of Pakson, Bangi branch, for example. So if Pakson practice decentralization, then the Pakson headquarters will give you some power to make decision for Bangi branch. And then you are happy because you have some power. You are a manager, you have some power, so you have job satisfaction. But what do you think if Pakson practice centralization? If Pakson practice centralization, it means that all decisions only can be made by the headquarters. You as a manager in Bangi has no power at all. So you can imagine that you will have low job satisfaction. You are not happy. You go to work as a manager, but you cannot decide anything for your branch, Pakson supermarket. So that's the difference. Okay, and then advantage or benefit number 4 is lower level decision often based on better information. So this is like this. If a manager if the lower level manager can make some decision, if a lower level manager has some decision power or power to make decision in their segment, most of the time they can make good decision because they know about their segment. For example, you are manager in Bangi, Pakson. So if you have some power to make decision, most of the time you can make good decision because you know about your supermarket in Bangi. Top level managers in headquarters, maybe they don't have, they are not working in Bangi, so they have less information and knowledge about the Bangi branch. You as the manager in Bangi know more about the Bangi branch. Okay, number 5 is improves ability to evaluate managers. When a company practice decentralization, the company will give some power to the manager to make decision, so the company can evaluate the performance of the manager. If the manager has no decision to has no power to make decision, then how can the company evaluate the performance of the manager? When the manager has some power to make decision, then it is easy for the company to evaluate the performance of the manager. Okay, but decentralizations practice also has several disadvantages. There are several not good things, several bad things about the practice of decentralization. So let's see. The first one may be a lack of coordination among autonomous managers. Okay, this is one. When you give power to the lower level manager in every segment of the business to make decision, then these managers, these lower level managers in many segments of the business can make contradict decision. So because very difficult to coordinate or to make sure them to work together for the benefit of the company. So that is one disadvantage. Second one, lower level managers may make decision without seeing the big picture. Okay, so lower level manager, they make decision based on their knowledge and experience in their own location or segment only. But maybe they do not know about the big picture, about the big picture of the whole company. That's one disadvantage of practicing decentralization. Another one is lower level managers' objectives may not be those of the organization. So this is one thing. When you give some power to the lower level manager, they use their power according to their objective, the objective of their branch or personal objective. But maybe these objectives are not aligned with the objective of the company as a whole. Okay, number 4, may be difficult to spread innovative ideas in the organization. Okay, when the lower level manager in segments of the business have power to make decision, if the company want to introduce something new, maybe this lower level manager can reject the idea. So this is one of the disadvantage of decentralization practice, management practice. Okay, let's see. Okay, decentralization and segment reporting. Okay, let's see. A segment is any part or activity of an organization about which a manager seeks cost, revenue, or profit data. A segment can be, see the right side of this slide. A segment can be an individual store or a sales territory or a service center. So some businesses, they have many segments. Like I said, my example is like Patson. Patson is a business or a company, and then it has many segments, and their segments can be categorized as according to sales territory. Patson in Bangi, Patson in Kuantan, Patson in Putrajaya, Patson in many places. So there's Patson segments of business is according to the sales territory. And okay, that is one example. But if we look at we look at 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven is a big company, and it has many segments. And maybe the segments can be categorized according to category number 1, individual store. 7-Eleven in Bangi for example, we have like more than 10 7-Eleven. The location is Bangi, but in Bangi only there are more than 10, I think, 7-Eleven. In Serdang, maybe more, more than 10 maybe. So for 7-Eleven, segments of its business maybe can be seen as the first category, as an individual store. We cannot say according to location, because in one location there are many 7-Eleven. So when for 7-Eleven, the segments can be differentiate according to the first category in this slide, individual store. Or in some businesses, segments of the business is according to the service center. The simple example, I think, the hospital. Let's say if you look at a private hospital, so the hospital is like a big building. In that big building, there are many segments according to the service center. One segment is for providing medical service to children only. Another segment is for what? For heart problem only. Another one is for skin problem only. Another one for what else? Respiratory problem only. So that is the segments of a business according to the service center. Okay, so I hope you can follow that idea. So when we say segments of a business, so you can imagine segments of a business can be categorized according to the store or location or service center, and maybe more according to departments, etc. Okay, so now you in the previous slide, you know that a business can have many segments. A factory, for example, this is another example. Panasonic is a big company. It has many segments. Segments for television, segments for air condition. This segments is according to the production line or department or factory. That is also an example. So, okay, so when you see there are many types of segments, these segments can be categorized into costs according to, can be categorized into three categories. The first one is called cost center. The second one is called profit center. And the third one is called investment centers. Okay, if there is a question asked you, what are the three types of business segments? So the answer is cost center, profit center, or investment center. So what is a cost center? Cost center is a segment whose manager has control over costs but not over revenues or investment funds. Okay, an example of a cost center is a human resource department. Let's say there is a business and then there are many departments in the business. So each department can be said as a segment. So human resource department is an example of a cost center. Why it is a cost center? Because it has control over cost only. The department has no revenue and has no control over revenue. And also the human resource department, has no control over investment. So Another cost center is, I think, IT department. Let's say you work in a big company. The IT, there are many segments. One of the segment is IT department. IT department is an example of a cost center because the IT department manager has control over cost only. The manager can think about how to reduce costs for IT department, but the IT manager or IT department manager uh, cannot generate revenue and also cannot decide about the investment. Okay, so the second type of segment is called profit center. A profit center is a segment whose manager has control over both costs and revenues, but no control over investment funds. So control over revenues means the segment or the segment manager has control over sales, interest, and others. And control over cost means the manager of the segment can control the manufacturing costs or commissions or salaries or others. The typical example of a profit center is the production department. You have a factory, you will have a production department. This department handles the production process. So when the department handles the production process, the department has control over revenue because the department produces something and the product can be sold. So the department has control over revenue. And also the department has control over cost. The production department can control the manufacturing cost. How much cost they want to spend on the direct material, maybe on the labor, on the overhead, etc. So the typical example of a profit center is the production department. Okay, and the last one is segments of a business. Segment of businesses can be categorized as investment center. Investment center is a segment of business whose manager has control over costs, revenues, and investment in operating asset. Control over investment means the manager of the segment can decide to purchase fixed asset, to purchase new machine, to purchase new building maybe, or land, or other fixed asset. So if a segment manager has control over purchasing of non-current asset or fixed asset, then we say that the manager has control over investment. So the only investment center that I know, the only example of investment center that I know is the corporate headquarters. The corporate headquarters can control everything, can control cost, revenue, and investment. So that are the three types of business segments. Business segments of a business can be a cost center, profit center, or investment center. Okay, all these cost center, profit center, and investment center also known as responsibility centers. So just remember, if somebody said responsibility center, then you know, responsibility centers are segments of a business. It can be a cost center, profit center, or investment center. Okay, so when a business has several segments, then there is a need to calculate profit for these segments. So when you want to calculate the profit for these segments, you have to know this thing. The way to calculate the profit is the typical way to calculate the profit is using the variable income statement format. The format of the income statement is like this: revenue minus variable cost, you will get the contribution margin, and then minus fixed cost, you will get the net income or net profit. So when for the fixed cost, when a business has many segments, the fixed cost of that business can be categorized into two types. The first one is called traceable fixed cost, and the second one is called common fixed cost. What is a traceable fixed cost? A traceable fixed cost is, see the green box in the left side of this slide. The traceable fixed cost are costs arise because of the existence of a particular segment. And then another category of fixed cost is common fixed cost. Common fixed cost is a cost that support more than one segment, but that will not go away if any particular segment were eliminated. Okay, let's see. I think you can see example here in the next slide. So one thing that you have to know is, if for a business that has many segments, traceable fixed costs can be traced according to each segment, but common fixed costs cannot be allocated. Common fixed costs are fixed costs that the company has to pay to support the company as a whole. It is not related to any segment. If one segment is closed, the cost is still exists. So that kind of cost is called common fixed cost. You will see that in the later slides. Okay, this is the more explanation about traceable fixed cost, and after this, common fixed cost. Okay, traceable fixed cost will disappear over time if the segment itself disappeared. Let's say, so this is the example. Let's say there is a business, and one of the segment of the business is computer division, maybe the computer production line. So an example of traceable fixed cost is the salary of the computer division manager. Why the salary of this computer division manager is a traceable fixed cost? Because if the computer division is closed, then the company does not have to pay the salary for the computer division manager. So that is an example of a traceable fixed cost. If the division or segment is closed, then the company does not have to pay the fixed cost. Okay, so that the common fixed cost is like this. The common fixed costs arise because of overall operation of the company and are not due to the existence of a particular segment. An example of this common fixed cost is the salary of a company president or a company CEO. So we see the computer division. If the company closed the computer division segment, the company still have to pay the salary to the company president or CEO. This is an example of a common fixed cost. Even though one segment is closed or disappear, still the company has to pay the fixed cost. So that is common fixed cost. Okay, so when you want to evaluate the performance of a segment within a company, then you have to look at the income statement of that segment. In accounting, we evaluate the performance of something according to profit or loss. If the segment or the thing makes profit, then we say that the performance is good. If the segment or thing is making loss, then the performance is not good. So let's see how to prepare income statement for a business that has several segments. Okay, in this example, Weber Incorporated has two divisions or two segments. Weber Incorporated is the company, and this company produces two products. So the company has two segments according to the production or the product. So that in this example, the company has two segments: computer division and television division. That division produces computer and another division is producing television. So let's see how to prepare income statement for this company. So level of segmented statements. So for every segment, every segment can have its own income statement. In this example, for the television department or division or segment, this is the income statement. So see, revenue or sales $300,000, variable cost of goods sold $120,000, other variable cost $30,000. So total variable cost is $150,000. Contribution margin is $150,000. Traceable fixed cost is $90,000. Division margin is $60,000. Division margins is the profit for that division. So see the green box there. Cost of goods sold consists of variable manufacturing costs. And then fixed and variable costs are listed in separate section. So this is the thing that I have said earlier. This is, we call it contribution margin format income statement or variable format income statement. Okay, segment margin is the television's division contribution to profit. Okay, see how. Okay, this is the way. If a business has, for example, two segments, this is the way to prepare the income statement. So you see there, the company is Weber Incorporated. See the company. The company data, the sales is 500,000. How can you get the 500,000? The 500,000 sales or revenue is coming from TV division 300,000 and computer division 200,000. So the total is 500,000 for the whole company. Variable cost 230,000 for the company. How? Why the company has $230,000 variable cost? The answer is because $80,000 variable cost from the computer division and $150,000 cost variable cost from the television division. The total is $230,000. Contribution margin is $270,000. And then traceable fixed cost. So See the television division has $90,000 fixed cost, and computer division has $80,000 fixed cost. They are traceable fixed costs for the company. Why they are traceable fixed costs for the company? Because if the television division is closed, then the 90,000 will disappear. For the computer division, if the computer division is closed, $80,000 fixed costs will disappear. So that's why they are traceable fixed costs. So but for the company has common costs, 25,000. Like you have seen earlier in the previous slide, common costs should not be allocated to the divisions or segments. This cost will remain even if one of the divisions were eliminated. So the total profit for the company is $75,000. So you remember, if there is a question asks you to prepare an income statement for a business that has several segments, then this is the way. When you prepare the income statement, you have to aware that there are traceable fixed costs and also there are common fixed costs. Traceable costs can become common costs. So see the explanation there. Fixed costs that are traceable on one segmented statement can become common if the company is divided into smaller segments. Let's see how this works. So this is Weber Incorporated. Remember, Weber Incorporated has two divisions, TV division and computer division. So you have seen that when the company prepare an income statement, the company will have traceable fixed costs and common fixed costs. The traceable fixed cost is related for one segment. So traceable fixed cost for that segment can become common cost. This thing can happen if the segment itself can be divided into smaller unit. See here, television, for example, let's say the television division can be or the television division has two smaller segment, regular television and big screen television. So when this thing happen, the traceable fixed cost can become common fixed cost. This is the example. Remember the TV division? So the TV division has $80,000 traceable fixed cost. When you see the company income statement in the previous slide. So here, when we focus on the television department division only, and we know that the television division has two smaller segments, regular and big screen. Now the $80,000 traceable fixed cost the $90,000 traceable fixed cost now can be categorized into two categories: traceable fixed cost and also common fixed cost. It was a traceable fixed cost before, 90,000, but now when we see the television division has two smaller segments under that division, then $90,000 fixed cost now 10,000 has become common cost. The common cost is the cost that cannot be eliminated if a regular unit is closed down or big screen unit is closed down. Okay, see the green box there? Of the 90,000 cost directly traced to the television division, 45,000 is traceable to regular, 35,000 is traceable to big screen product line. 10,000 cannot be traced to either the regular or big screen product line. So it now becomes a common cost. So just remember, the segment margin is the best measure of the long run profitability of a segment. Okay, so the segment margin is the profit for a segment of a business. A business can have many segments, so profit for each segment is called segment margin. Thank you very much. This is the end of this lecture. Do not forget to write your name and metric number in the comment section.